One does not need to be rich to become an entrepreneur. Business lessons from Narayana Murthy. A young man wanted to leave his job and start a business. He neither had a big bank balance nor powerful connections. He only had an idea and a fear sitting in his mind. What if everything fails? His family members were asking, where will the money come from? His friends were saying, do not leave a good job. But another question was rising inside him. Do only children from rich families have the right to become entrepreneurs? Perhaps the answer to this very question is hidden in the life of that person who started with limited resources and made a small Indian software company a name of trust before the world. That person was R Narayana Murthy. His story is not just about the success of Infosys. It is a story of an idea, failure, discipline, transparency, and those difficult days when the future was not visible clearly at all. The business world often shows the sparkle of success. Big offices, high valuations, and famous founders are visible. But behind that sparkle are countless nights when the very existence of the company becomes a question. Narayana Murthy was born on the 20th of August 1946 in Karnataka. His full name is Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy. He was not the heir to any big industrial empire. He completed his studies in engineering and then obtained higher education from IIT Kanpur. His interest in technology developed at a time when computers were almost an unknown thing to the common people in India. At the beginning of his career, he worked at IIM Ahmedabad. There, he got an opportunity to work on early computer systems. This experience later became an important part of his entrepreneurial vision. But his first entrepreneurial attempt was not Infosys. He had started a company named Softronics. There was an idea, there was hard work, but the market was not completely ready for that service. In about a year and a half, Softronics shut down. This was the turning point where any person could consider themselves a failure and fear taking a risk again. Murthy did not make that failure his final identity. He understood that having a good product is not enough. Market timing, customer need, and the business model are also just as necessary. After Softronics shut down, he joined Patni Computer Systems. There he closely understood the working of international clients, software exports, and professional management. This was the very time when the global technology market was changing. Big foreign companies needed skilled software professionals, and a new generation of talented engineers was getting ready in India. Murthy saw this opportunity. But seeing an opportunity and leaving a job for it are different things. He faced big hurdles like capital, government rules, technology access, and winning the trust of foreign clients. In 1981, he along with 6 partners laid the foundation of Infosys. This founding team included Nandan Nilekani, S. Gopalakrishnan, S. D. Shibulal, K. Dinesh, N. S. Raghavan, and Ashok Arora. In this beginning, there was no grand campus. There was no funding round of crores. There were only a few professionals who believed that world-class software services could be delivered from India. In the famous story related to the beginning of Infosys, there is a mention of an initial capital of 10,000 rupees which Sudha Murthy made available from her savings. At that time, this amount was the biggest capital of trust. But getting money was only the first step. The India of the 1980s was not like today's startup ecosystem. Importing a computer, getting foreign exchange, and reaching clients was extremely difficult. Today, a founder can open a laptop and make a video call to a customer anywhere in the world. At that time, there could be a long wait just to get a telephone connection, and international communication was very expensive. Importing a computer could take months or even longer. The long process of government permissions used to slow down the speed of the business. This very struggle explains that thinking of Murthy, in which he kept talking about reducing unnecessary hurdles in business. He believed that if entrepreneurship grows, jobs and income will also grow. But he did not give up just by blaming the rules. The Infosys team adopted the on-site model, in which engineers went to the clients to work and gradually build trust. In the initial years, Infosys was not a company that became successful overnight. The founders had to work continuously amidst low resources, delayed payments, and limited infrastructure. Right here, the first big lesson of business comes forward. To become an entrepreneur, it is not necessary to be born into a rich family, but the mental strength to endure uncertainty is definitely needed. Capital is important, but capital alone does not build a company. The right team, the customer's problem, disciplined execution, and the ability to hold on during difficult times take a business forward. According to Murthy, a startup is not a game of selling an old service just by putting a new name on it. It should have such an idea or execution that can give better value to the customer than before. It is not necessary for every idea to be discovered for the first time in the world. Innovation is sometimes in the product, sometimes in the delivery, sometimes in the price, and sometimes in the customer experience. But a founder often gets emotionally attached to their idea. They feel that there can be no mistake in the product, and the market itself is not understanding it. Right here comes the second lesson of failure. If customers are repeatedly rejecting the product, revenue is not being generated, and assumptions are turning out to be wrong, it is important to recognize the signals quickly. Changing an idea is not always a defeat. Many times, pivoting, removing a feature, or leaving a wrong market is the smartest decision to save the company. The shutting down of Murthy's own first company shows that the failure of a venture does not decide the entire capability of a founder. Failure can become an expensive education. But learning from failure is possible only when the founder comes out of excuses. They must see clearly whether the mistake was in the product, in pricing, in timing, or in execution. The interesting thing is that learning from success is many times even more difficult than from failure. Failure forces one to ask questions, but success can make a founder overconfident. Sometimes a company succeeds not because of a right strategy, but due to right timing or a sudden rise in demand. A founder can mistake that success as the victory of their every old habit. From right here, wrong confidence is born. The company thinks that what was done earlier will always work. But the market keeps changing, and old success is not a guarantee of the future. Therefore, a good leader should do analysis even after success. Which decision actually worked, which mistake was hidden by luck, and which risk can cause damage ahead. Professional management played a major role in the growth of Infosys. The company was developed not like a family business running solely under the control of the founders, but like an institution. An important lesson from Murthy is that the lifespan of a company should be longer than the presence of its founder. For this, it is necessary to groom new leaders within the organization. If every small decision is taken by only one person, the company may appear big, but it remains weak from within. The moment the leader steps away, the entire decision-making can stop. A good founder does not keep only yes-men around them. They develop such professionals who can express disagreement with them and take the right decisions by taking responsibility. In Infosys, leadership transition became a part of this institutional thinking. After Murthy, Nandan Nilekani took over the responsibility of CEO, and later other professional leaders ran the company. Leadership does not mean sitting on the chair forever. True leadership is visible when the organization can move forward with its values and systems even without you. Murthy also explained that a designation alone does not make a person a star. A big title can be written on a visiting card, but respect is generated by work. A manager is valuable only when their presence makes the team work better, customers are more satisfied, and the long-term value of the company increases. In many organizations, people mistake position for performance. After getting a cabin, authority, and a reporting team, they feel that leadership has been proven. But power tests character. Performance gives recognition, recognition gives respect, and with respect, influence grows. After this, remaining humble becomes more difficult. Humility held a special significance in Murthy's management philosophy. According to him, a leader who maintains grace after getting power enhances the dignity of the organization. Employees work with more honesty for such a leader who listens to them. A team running only on fear hides problems, whereas a team with trust tells problems early. In business, transparency is not just a word to create a good image. It means that investors, employees, and customers get important information at the right time in a clear manner. Infosys tried to build credibility among global clients and investors by emphasizing corporate governance, financial disclosure, and professional standards. In 1993, Infosys got listed on Indian stock exchanges. Later in 1999, it became among the early Indian companies to list on Nasdaq. This was a symbolic achievement for the Indian IT sector. With international listing, the responsibilities of reporting and compliance also increased. The company had to present its numbers, risks, and decisions more clearly before global investors. From here emerges a big entrepreneurial lesson. Trust is not built quickly through advertisements. It is built by fulfilling promises for years and by telling even the uncomfortable truth. Bad times take the real test of transparency. In good days, every founder appears confident, but when revenue falls, many companies start hiding problems. Murthy's lesson was that both good and bad days come in business. Difficult times teach a company to control expenses and understand priorities again. When the market grows rapidly, unnecessary expenses also appear to be a part of growth. But as soon as a slowdown comes, it becomes clear which expense was necessary and which was just a show-off. Difficult times also make one understand the importance of customer satisfaction. If bringing a new customer becomes difficult, the trust of existing customers becomes the biggest protection of the company. Similarly, considering employees merely as a cost is dangerous. In a crisis, the very team saves the company which has built the knowledge of the product, customer and systems over years. This does not mean that every expense should be maintained. This means that cost reduction should be done not in panic, but by looking at data and long-term impact. Difficult times build the character of a company. It shows whether the leadership talked about values only during days of profit or follows them during days of loss as well. In Murthy's thinking, values and business were not different things. He believed that the future of an organization depends on the ethical standards of its leaders and employees. If the company makes a wrong promise, hides numbers or confuses the customer to get revenue, a short-term sale can be achieved, but long-term trust gets weakened. For young entrepreneurs, this means that ethics is not a luxury to be adopted after the company becomes profitable. Values have to be put into the systems from the very beginning. From an invoice to hiring, taxation, customer data and employee treatment, every small decision writes the culture of the company. Later, that culture cannot be changed easily just by putting up posters. Narayana Murthy was honored with national awards like Padma Shri and Padma Vibhushan. International platforms also recognized his contribution to entrepreneurship and corporate leadership. But his every opinion has not been undisputed. His views on long working hours and work-life balance have triggered a big debate in recent years. Many people believe that hard work is necessary, but more hours alone do not guarantee productivity. Burnout, health and fair compensation cannot be ignored. Right here, a mature entrepreneur must understand the difference between the person and the thought. Learning from a successful business leader does not mean accepting their every opinion without question. Discipline and hard work can be learned from Murthy's journey, but today's founder will also have to create a balance of sustainable work culture, employee well-being and output quality. Entrepreneurship is not a story of becoming a hero. It is a process of solving problems, giving jobs to people, and fulfilling the responsibility received from the customer. Even if you do not have a big surname, a beginning is possible. But business does not run on motivation alone. One has to understand the reality of market research, cash flow and customer payment. Your idea may be excellent, yet the customer might not pay for it. Therefore, before making a product, it is necessary to know what the real problem is and how urgent it is. Your team may be intelligent, but if values are different, the partnership can break. Therefore, while choosing a co-founder, honesty and working style should also be looked at along with skill. Funding can be obtained, but if there is no path to profit, a company cannot always run on external money. Growth and financial discipline have to be taken along together. If success is achieved, do not stop asking questions. If failure comes, do not consider yourself finished. In both situations, keeping facts above ego is the strength of a founder. And when power grows, do not let humility decrease, because employees decide whether the values of the company are real or just written words by looking at your daily decisions, not your speeches. The story of Narayana Murthy does not tell us that every small startup will become the next Infosys. It tells us that a limited beginning can also become big if the foundation is strong. A company can be made from an idea, but to make an institution, it takes leaders, systems, transparency, and patience. This is the difference between a venture of a few years and an organization of several decades. The fear of that young man is the same even today. What if the business fails? But perhaps the right question is, what if, out of fear, he never tried despite his preparation? To become an entrepreneur, it is not necessary to be the son of a rich person. What is necessary is to recognize the problem, learn from failure, take the right people along, and protect one's character during bad days. Because the real identity of a business is not made by the profit of good days. It is formed during those difficult days when money is low, the path is blurry, and yet decisions have to be taken with honesty.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible, but in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.